it's a great joy. I'm working with Ruby Wax, who has been a friend and a sister for more than 25 years.
Rahla's my best friend, and she's a great writing teacher. I mean, she comes from Cape Town, that's where I met her, and she really knows how to teach people how to journal or write their story, but without that critical, this isn't any good, I'm gonna throw this away, I haven't got any natural talent. So she knows how to get past that, I'm not good enough, nobody likes me, I'm a fraud voice.
And then we have the divine Thubten, who's also a beloved friend, and he teaches the actual meditating.
My relationship with the monk is, it's already a kind of comedic, but we adore each other. So I met the monk when he was doing a talk for Wisdom 202, and I said to him as soon as he was done, you have to come live in my house. I don't know what made me do it, but I always make the comment that he matches my sofa. So the costume is exactly the same color. When people come over, they just see Thubten's floating head.
The three of us are working together, but we tend to have our workshops individually, and we attend each other's workshops. And the idea is that each class blends into the next. So usually in the mornings, Ruby gives a talk about the why and the how to meditate and the brain science behind it, the psychology.
I'm the funny one, I kind of lure people in, but I'm funny and I'm scientific, and I think people love the science. You know, it's not hardcore. It's I'm sort of in Disney-esque way explaining it. And I think kids would really be helped explaining how the mothership works, so that you don't think, oh my God, I'm being haunted by these thoughts. I say why we have thoughts. Why are most of them negative? It's all for our survival. Evolution doesn't care about our happiness. It just wants us to survive. So if you put us in a world where we're competing and you give us social media, we're not competing with the neighborhood or the rest of the tribe, which is quite healthy because it means we're going to thrive. You're competing with 1 billion people. And so you always feel like a little guy who's never going to make it. And I talk about, you know, what the news does to you and what is tearing your mind apart and why you can't talk to your kids because you come with so much angst and why your boss really affects you. And people are burning out. That's what they're doing now. And it's not because of war and it's not because you're a refugee camp. It's because your thoughts are driving you crazy. And so I really help them become the driver rather than the driven. And that's my job.
And then I take it further into actual practice. So we look at techniques, we look at the kind of challenges and pitfalls of meditation and how to solve those, and then we do some meditation together. And in the afternoon, Rahla gives a writing workshop which helps people to find ways to bypass their inner critic and find that they're much more creative than they maybe thought.
In terms of writing, I think there's the writing we learn to do at school, which is very cerebral and very brain-based and can be so overwhelming and destructive. And what I work with is the working through your heart and working through traumas or joys. Many years ago I was very sick. I have bipolar disorder and various other psychiatric problems. And I had I was literally dying of bulimia. And I went to a nutritionalist who said to me, everyone is going to tell you to look for the light at the end of the tunnel. And when you're this sick, you can't see that light at the end of the tunnel. And she said, all you can do is go through life and pick up little flashlights. And you use those flashlights to just put one foot in front of the other until you in fact do come to the end of the tunnel and there is light. So the way I see it is that with writing or whatever mindfulness or whatever it is, you're getting a flashlight. And it's just to get that one step gently in front of the other. It's a life skill and a healing mechanism, which writing was and has been for me.
And we take you incrementally up. You know, mindfulness isn't about sitting on a gluten-free cushion. When you're able to pull it down, you know, anchor yourself. I always say we're all in different boats, but in the same storm. When you're able to pull that red mist down, then you can do things like listen to other people with clarity. So it's not about just going up your own behind. It's about, the whole point of it is so that when I listen to you, I'm there for you. And if you can get into somebody's mind and see how they see the world, you can have anything. I mean, your business goes, it flows, your family adore you, your friends think, wow, they really care about me. But if we're all sitting and thinking, Jesus, I wonder if they think I'm interesting, or am I as pretty as them, or am I making sense, or maybe this is all insane. If you're thinking that, you're not communicating. So basically, I'm teaching you how to be real and how to, that doesn't mean you're all chilled. That means I'm really positively listening to how you are trying to tell me how you see the world.
What I'm trying to share at these retreats is meditation, but particularly to help people understand that it's perhaps easier than they thought it was. I think people overcomplicate it and they assume that their lives are too busy to meditate, or their mind is too busy, or there's no time. And I really want to kind of demystify the whole thing and get people to realize it's much simpler than they thought, and it can very naturally fit in with a busy lifestyle.
The toughest challenge any of us as human beings have is to abandon our inner critic. So for me, this process is like you're writing really fast and you're going through your heart experiences really quickly, and it's almost like you're writing a marathon with your inner critic. So normally when you're doing what you learned at school, you're stopping to check your spelling and your grammar, and every time you do that, your inner critic is tapping you on the shoulder saying, you moron, who do you think you are? But when you write really fast, your inner critic can't catch up. So that's when we get into our stories and we get into that. It's an exquisite process.
I find that people who come on these retreats, it's often their first experience of retreat, and we're very gentle in our approach. We don't expect people to have done retreats before. Some have, and many haven't, and so we really start from the ground up, which is very nice for people who are new to meditation, but also people who've meditated before and want to kind of check their basic understanding of the techniques, also get a lot out of it.
These people are my tribe, because they speak from inside. There's no cocktail chatter. They're all from all walks of life. You wouldn't think in real life they'd be so interested in their inner workings, but they need their focus. And they need to make decisions and clear their minds. A lot of people think they have ADHD, whatever. It's distraction. It's people want to just live a less frazzled life. And we really, I think, are the most down to earth on how to teach you. You got a great monk who speaks Oxford. He's very smart. He's not quoting Buddhism. I force him to stop with the B word. And then I am able to translate as to what happens in your brain. If you don't know what happens in your brain, why let somebody take over your mind? I really want to know. It's an exercise, it's a muscle that you're, it's like going to the gym and doing sit-ups and getting a hard six-pack. So these exercises are for the brain, and when you do them, even 1 minute a day, you buff up areas that do exactly what I'm talking about.
It's very beautiful that we're able to do a retreat in such lovely surroundings. So Broughton Sanctuary has beautiful buildings and also beautiful nature areas. So we do some of the retreat indoors and some outdoors. And I think the environment is very, very important and very helpful. And for many people, this is a real chance to give themselves time off in beautiful setting to really go within and discover more about their minds. But even though it's an inner journey, the outer environment is incredibly supportive for that.
I just did wild swimming, and there's a kind of a little hub in the forest that's a sauna, and then there's hot, not jacuzzis, but hot tubs, and it doesn't get any more luxurious. And I'm sort of embarrassed about the whole thing. But if you give me a choice between, a yurt and this, I know where I'm going. So even if you don't like our retreat, which everybody does, the surroundings are pretty good.
There is the obvious aesthetic. There is the gardens and the bedrooms and the wallpaper and the antiquity of the place. I know there's all of that, but there's also something on quite a deep, there's a great beauty at Broughton, and it's in a deeper cellular level that I just drove down that driveway and my whole body went, oh, wow. It's very soft and embracing, and the people are also soft and embracing. And it helps that the bed sheets are as soft and embracing as they are.